What's up?
What's up? Give it a minute, yeah. You can hear me okay?
Yep.
Let's give it a minute to warm up a little bit. Hey guys, it's your favorite Jedi BMF Goddess here with my co-host for tonight, Steve Monsta Mack. Thanks for tuning in.
Yo,
Steve
yo,
Monsta
and
Mack.
yo.
How are you?
I'm chilling. Just watching some basketball and just enjoying the night. How about yourself?
I'm alright. I'm doing okay. Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm a tourist from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. My hobbies include walking on the beach and looking at the sunsets in different various locations of the United States.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Thanks. I'm just trying to get my plug for my phone. It's like all tangled up. I have spaghetti. So it's like, you know how it is. When you need something done and there's stuff going on, of course it can never get done. Actually, like I said, I grew up in Brooklyn, professional wrestler for the last 24 years. February was my 24th anniversary of being in the biz. And I've held over 85, is it 85? Yeah, I've held over 85 titles around the world.
Wow.
I've been everywhere from Japan, Puerto Rico, California, Mexico, Canada, you name it, I wrestled, except for Europe. I don't know why. No love. Actually, that's not true. I used to get a lot of love from Europe. I was a member of a tag team called the Hit Squad. We were pretty famous when there was no YouTube and no internet. And it was the tape trading days. And, I was very first Ring of Honor match ever. We started Ring of Honor, stuff that me and Homicide and Key and Moff were doing with the SAT and Christopher Daniels, American Dragon, stuff that we were doing. They started that company because of the stuff that we were doing. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're kind of big deals.
Oh, hell yeah.
But now, I just do my local indie stuff. To be honest, I'm just enjoying being a father and just trying to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Right now, I'm the current Titan Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion in Jersey, and I'm the New York City champion for BWF up in the Bronx. So those are
shit. Look at Monster Mack. Monster Mack belts over here.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold belts in all different states. So I'm trying to get one in Pennsylvania, one in Connecticut, maybe one in Delaware. So maybe this year, before my 25th, I can make that happen.
Fuck yeah.
That's what's up.
That's fucking awesome.
But the biggest part that I haven't said anything yet about is that I am an absolute gamer. I'm a Sega fanboy from day one.
Woohoo!
Hell yeah. I remember vivid memories of my 3-year-old self in the arcade over at Coney Island, standing in front of a pole position cabinet, racing every time my mom gave me a quarter. And then I moved on to Outrun. And then eventually 1991 happened and Street Fighter 2 came out, and forget it. I was living at the arcade machine across the street from my house. They had one of those bootleg Street Fighters, so I was always up in the air, Hadoukens and stuff like that. And,
Word.
It just called me from when I was a kid. So, since I was probably about, I want to say 2 or 3, I got my first Atari, and it's been nonstop ever since.
Oh my God. That's, yeah. Kind of the same for me. I started really young, but I can't say with Atari.
I had the wood grain 2600 The throwback.
God, like, my gaming history, I've said before on previous podcasts, but I did start young. Mario Brothers was my first love, which is why he's tatted on me. I did dabble in the pro gaming scene where I did compete. I traveled and competed in the FGC, which is the fighting game community. But tonight's topic is an ever-trending one, that of Xbox versus PlayStation. And I'm known for following my friends. Huh?
I said that's a constant battle. We talk. You're talking about fighting. Yeah. There's no war right now.
I'm known for trolling my friends who are avid PlayStation players. I do it, just for fun because it's amusing and how angry people really get over the topic. I actually have an ongoing war that is with my bro, Savage Sam. He doesn't even call me Goddess. He calls me Xbox. Anyways.
Is that big Ico Ray Sam?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the only battle going on for like 3 years.
That's awesome.
Anyways, we're here to debate and give information to our fellow gamers. So, Monsta Mack, so you actually play Xbox, right?
So, the first Xbox, the OG Xbox, and the Xbox 360, I was heavy into. Matter of fact, I still play my OG Xbox all the time. But I also have it modded with like 2 terabytes of stuff on there. You know what I mean? So.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. You gotta share that, what you do.
Hell yeah. Well, it's not. It's just the little hobby that I do right now, and that's I add firmware, mod stuff. I've done controller systems and stuff like that. Trust me, I'm not saying that I'm a pro at it at all, but maybe one day when I'm done wrestling, that'll be how I make my money is hooking people's systems up. But I gotta get better at it.
Heck yeah.
But I have definitely done a bunch of systems. Actually, I've been working on my little PlayStation TV, my PS TV, this week because I had the Vita. I still have the Vita, but I haven't, and I modded that. But the TV I had sitting for a while, and then it broke, so I got another one, and now I'm in the process of hooking that one up.
Oh, okay.
So, because I really do enjoy the Vita and the PSP. Those are 2 of my favorite systems. And in a time where everybody was against Nintendo, I was definitely a Sony fanboy. I still am, but not like before. See, this is the thing. We're gonna have this discussion about PlayStation and Xbox, but the real fight was back in the day when it was Nintendo versus Sega. There was a huge difference. If you look at some games, you can see. Huh?
I remember.
Yeah. I mean, you can see the differences. Like, take a game like Jurassic Park. It was like 2 totally different games made by different companies. And if you were a Super Nintendo fanboy, you supported the Super Nintendo version. If you were a Sega fanboy, you did the Sega one. But if you was the rich kid and had both, because we all know we had a few friends that were that fancy brat, I got both systems.
To this day.
Yeah, I know. Well, fuck
I don't have the Series X yet. I don't have the Series X yet. I want it, but not yet.
I was looking, and I do like that they've already modded the Series S. And it's not that hard for the Series X, but I have a feeling that if I were to ever get a Series X, I wouldn't want to modify it right away. I definitely would leave it. But the S, because it's all digital, you might as well hook it up with some nonsense, so that way you can play other stuff besides the Xbox games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have been checking it out and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, this war between Xbox and PlayStation, it's been going on for a long time. But had it not been because Sega was stupid and didn't put a DVD player in their Dreamcast, we might not even be talking about PlayStation.
Oh wow, that's true.
Wow. Dreamcast came out. People still make games for the Dreamcast today. you know.
That is insane because they don't really do that.
Yeah.
They just continued everything else.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, like, the thing that made the PlayStation 2 the biggest selling system of all time was because it had a DVD player at a time where people still have VHS tapes in their system. And, you know, that DVD player, being a cheap DVD player plus a video game console, it helped out a lot. And, you know,
I'm so glad you brought that up. That's such a crucial fact right there.
Yeah. And then, if you really want to get a little bit deeper, the original Xbox was almost a Sega system. It was going to be deemed the Dreamcast 2, like, behind the scenes. And, you know, that's why if you look at the first lineup of OG Xbox games, there's a lot of Sega stuff. So, you know, I mean, really, it's Sega versus PlayStation, but, you know, it's under Sega.
Oh my God, I didn't know that either. I love you.
Trust me, it's not just gaming. Like, I love the history of games. I love knowing how things are made. I just learned, I found out the other day, because it's Black History Month, that the guy who created the first video game system that had cartridges was a black guy, and he never gets any props. And it wasn't for Atari or anything else. It's for his own company.
Yep. Yes.
And, you know, he never gets props. And it's always like, damn, son, you should really give that dude some props, because he created a whole generation of kids. You know,
I love that now they're shedding light on that, because I actually recently, a few weeks ago, found that out, and I was like, wow, he really got robbed.
Yeah, he did. He definitely got robbed.
But guess what? Now, in my head, it was a black guy who made it first.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we know what's up. But the thing is, it's only the gamers and a few people outside of the gamers who know it now. You know, it needs to be spread out, that message of, like, where it came from, because, you know,
absolutely,
everyone thinks that the guy who created Atari was the guy who created video games. No, video games have been around for a lot longer than that dude. It's just he was the first one to get it home. And, you know,
to get serious notoriety, and that's fucked up.
Yep. But this guy elevated the game. He made it so that, you know, you have one system, everybody could profit off of the games and the systems, and, you know, and he changed the way the world was so that we could have a PlayStation versus Xbox. I mean, realistically, if you ask me, I don't see too much of a difference anymore between the games and how they look when you look at Xbox and PlayStation. The same stuff, you know, it's so minute. And, like, you could talk, oh, well, this one performs at 65 teraflops per blah, blah, blah. But who cares? You know what I mean?
No, but you kidding me. Wait, you're getting to the after part before we get to the debate. Because today, Monsta Mack, he's going to be on Team Lame Station. Because we want to share some info and also ask which console do you... which one do you personally prefer? And, like,
well, the one that I use the most and I love is my PlayStation 4. I got it a year after it came out, because I never get systems the same year they come out. There's always bugs, and even though I feel like I missed out on PS3 because of the backwards compatibility, but you know, the PS4 was, you know, by the time I got it, it was set, it was straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely.
Good, but yeah, PS4 is the one that gets all the love from me.
Clearly I prefer Xbox. I started with PlayStation though, and PlayStation was my joint for a long time. But you know how, just like in life, when you're dating and you meet people, but then when you meet that one person that you just know you want to be with them.
You got all hard up.
That is what happened. Me and I like to call her my green eye. Right now, she's my green eye white bitch, because you know, we got a green eye. And we have been in a serious love affair since she was born. Since the first one was born. Oh,
okay, that's what's up. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with having a green-eyed white bitch. We could all use one.
Oh my God! Remember the first, the 360 when it had the red ring and all that shit going on?
Yeah, I used to work
I was one of the victims.
Ah.
And I don't use the word victim, but in this case, I feel it's appropriate because it was a hard time in my life. I had a whole week without my Xbox, and I was sick.
I have a very similar story. But see, so when Xbox came, because I used to work at GameStop and Funko Land before it was GameStop, for about a period of like 10 to 12 years of my life, where I was off and on. I was already wrestling and stuff like that. But when I was 15, I started working at GameStop. And so, I had access to everything. And I remember hearing before everybody else got the 360 that there was going to be a problem with something. Nobody knew what it was, but we knew that there was something wrong with it because they rushed the system out. So as I'm working for GameStop, we start hearing about the Red Ring of Death, and we're just like, oh no, this sounds horrible, right? But then the PS3 came out, and PS3 had its own. It was the Yellow Ring of Death, right? But it wasn't the Xbox, right? So I had my Xbox, and I know one day I was playing, I want to say it was Call of Duty. I was playing Call of Duty, and the red ring came on in mid-game. I was like, oh no! Like, it was like the worst shit in my life, you know what I mean? And, but then I gave it a rest. And it came back, and I didn't have a problem with it again, right? So later,
you got lucky.
Yeah, big time, right? So later on that year for the holidays, we was at the crib, and we were all playing. This is when Guitar Hero was big, and everybody was playing Guitar Hero, and it was, it was the shit, right? So we're having, I want to say it was Christmas. My sister's there, and it was a bunch of it. It wasn't just my sister, but she was a little drunk, and she's like, I want to play. So I was like, all right. So I go to give her the guitar, and she pulls the guitar too hard, and the system falls. And the red ring comes back on and doesn't leave.
Oh my God.
So everyone in the house was like, oh!
I would have been so mad. I would have been so mad.
It was the most silent moment. And she's like, what? So then for she paid to get it repaired, but for like a hot minute, she was like, I didn't do nothing. And everybody was like, but you were drunk. You definitely pulled this shit on purpose, right? I pulled it.
Oh so my
every
God.
once in a while I bust her chops. I'll be like, all right, Xbox breaker. But it was stuff like that though. And when the Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, I didn't want to pay to get a game that had 2 discs. I didn't feel like there should be an install disc and a fucking, game disc. You should just put 1 disc in and play. I hate DLC. Well, not DLC. I hate that you have to do certain things to, install the game and then download stuff. Okay. It should all just be there already. You know what I mean?
And they definitely did that over the past few years to get us to pay for more shit.
So, like, with Xbox, there were so many games that had install discs. I was like, why? This is so ridiculous. So, once I switched over to PlayStation 3, it was like, all right, well, I'm good. I don't need to get any game that I need 2 discs for. Because, like, you would go to GameStop and you buy a used game, and they didn't have the install disc. So, you'd be shit out of luck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, PlayStation, you just get the 1. It was on Blu-ray, so it had enough space. You were straight. But it was definitely a pain in the ass to have that for me. Insert disc 1. No, stupid. This is not a book. Just put it all on one thing and let's go.
Word up. With 155 million sold, the PS2 is actually the most sold of all time.
Yep.
In its time. In 2020, the best-selling console was the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And by November of 2020, the PS4 dominated. The PS5 dominated the Xbox by about 1.5 million. But each of them selling over 150 million each.
like I said, if you could find one, sure, it'd be great.
Exactly.
But I haven't seen one in the wild in a long time.
The best overall gaming in the system is actually the PS5 one's that. But if you want the best gaming for multimedia, that's where the Xbox X wins.
Well, see, this is the thing.
Yeah.
This is the thing. If we're going to talk about multimedia, they locked the PlayStation up. Because if you mod it, even the PS4, which there's a lot of mods for, you can have a whole bunch of stuff accessed through your PS4.
Oh, yeah. It's true. Yeah.
But it's locked up. Whereas Xbox, they left it open.
Right.
But with Xbox, the problem was a lot of the beginning of Xbox One, when they said that they were gonna, what was it? You didn't own the game if you bought it digital. It's licensed. I mean, PlayStation did it too, because Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was released. It was super popular, and then they pulled it and you couldn't download it anymore. But with Xbox, they could just pull it whenever they want from your system. And everybody was pissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's where PlayStation was like, nah, we would never do that to you, son. We love you, son. We love you. So I was like, I love you too, PlayStation. You're my best friend.
All right, so Monsta Mack, I'm gonna let you start your first con for PlayStation.
So with PlayStation, the one thing that I don't like is the setup for the store right now for the PlayStation Store. They just updated recently, and to be honest, it feels like a downgrade. Before you had access to your PS3, your PS2, PS1 games, your PSP games, your PS Vita games. You had you could sort things out on the app easier, through the games. And now it's just a big jumbled mess of whatever algorithm they feel fits your needs. And to be honest, I don't need to see FIFA when I've never bought a FIFA game. I mean, I have, but I'm just saying, I was just using that as an excuse.
Yeah.
If I never bought an RPG, then they shouldn't be showing me 20 different RPGs of games that I'll never buy, and that's how it comes up now. They really, it's store. Whereas Xbox Live has always been, set up really dope. And PlayStation, it had it for a long time. It was good. It was a good setup. But then, I think the update was late last year. It just really sucked. It really wasn't any good. So that's my biggest con with PlayStation. What's your biggest Xbox con?
Actually, the only thing I don't like about Xbox now is the whole having to buy this everything extra, like you said, all the add-ons. And I remember when gameplay was as simple as buy the game and that's it. But that goes for both systems. Yeah. I don't like that at all. The Ultimate Pass thing, I love that feature because it includes so many games that you can play with just having this all included with the gold once a month deal. It's pretty cool. So that's the only con from Xbox you're gonna hear from me. So you can start your pros.
Well, I mean, when it comes to pros, just the ease of use of the system. I've always felt like with Xbox, coming from a PC background, it's always been for the more elitist gamer. I played Dungeons and Dragons, and we had a 21-sided die, and we played till 4 in the morning, and those idiots, you know what I mean? I always felt like those were the same people that played Xbox. And to be honest, like I said, I loved Xbox always, but you always feel like PlayStation 4 is a casual gamer system, as well as, a pro gamer system. Now, I'm not a pro gamer by any means of the imagination. I suck at a lot of the games that I love. I love Street Fighter. Street Fighter is my number one franchise that I love, and but I've had I won't say 5-year-olds, but I've had 15-year-olds whoop my ass in the arcade. You know what I mean? But I love it. It's fun. And with that, PlayStation makes games like that a lot of fun to play. Pick up and play. Now, in all fairness, I haven't played much with the Xbox One, just a handful of times, and their controller is better than the PlayStation. I'll give them that, but I don't know.
I feel like that too. I like how it feels better.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like I played Madden and NBA and Call of Duty on the Xbox One, and for some reason it just feels better playing it on a PS4 to me. I couldn't really tell you why. That's just how it feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will say, there's some stuff like Flight Simulator. I'm definitely interested in checking out. I watch videos. So, there's some stuff there that I definitely want to check out that's exclusive to Xbox. And over the years, I've always loved Forza, but I haven't had the need to be I need to buy an Xbox right now. When I could get an Xbox One for $50, then I'll probably go that route. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's how I feel about, because I want to get I used to have the PS4. I want it back. I had fun with the system. But I'm going to just say some cool Xbox features that are fucking awesome. You could choose which part of the games that you want to install. You don't have to install the whole game anymore. And I think that's fucking awesome. I mean, because memory, that's all you have to say.
Yeah.
You can
but now they have it where you can upgrade the memory. So, if you really need to download something full game, you can get a 2 terabyte drive installed. And, I don't think there's anything close to 2 terabytes right now that you're using that much space.
That you even need. Yeah. No.
Yeah, so,
Stream and record in 4K. You can stream and record 4K gameplay.
Did you say foreplay?
4K gameplay.
So it kind of blipped, and the first time
I
said foreplay, I was like, wait a minute, I thought we were talking about Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, see, that's one of the advantages is that 4K, but with the HDR, I was playing Ghost of Tsushima the other day on PlayStation on my 4K TV, and it looks amazing. You're not going to say it looks shitty on a 4K TV. It looks great with the HDR. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's what I was getting at. Is when it was Sega and Nintendo back in the day, there was a definite difference. Sega had, Mortal Kombat, right? Prime example. Same game, not really much difference, but on the Super Nintendo, it looked awesome. Whereas on the Sega Genesis, it was easier to play, and the sound was better on the Super Nintendo, but it was easier to control and pull off the stuff, and you have more stuff, and it had blood on the Sega Genesis. You know what I mean? So, now with the Xbox and PlayStation, we could sit there and talk about 4K, but are we really counting all the pixels? No, we're enjoying it for what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Technically, if you really, really want to get into it, I got the PlayStation VR. And let me tell you, if I could sit there and play in my VR all day with every game, I totally would. Because you see every little line, every little thing that's on the screen. It's just like if you're watching it on a 70-foot screen in the movies. You know what I mean? With the VR, and it crystal clear, amazing. The only thing that sucks is that sometimes because I've had mine for 3 or 4 years now. It gets kind of foggy if you're sweating. You get excited if you're a chubbed out dude like me, and you start doing a little too much boxing on Creed, and all of a sudden everything gets all foggy because you can't stop breathing heavy.
I'm pretty sure it happens to a lot of people. I'm pretty sure it happens to a lot of people, though.
Definitely. But it looks awesome with the VR. You know what I mean? And it's not 4K. But it looks dope. And that's the thing. I feel like with Xbox, Like, yeah, all right, that's cool. They got the high tech and the 4K and stuff, but it's nothing that really stands out. Like I said, I love Forza. There hasn't been a Forza game that I've wanted to play in like 5 or 6 years, because I thought about it the other day. I was like, damn, I've been missing out on all these Forza games. I should really like get an Xbox. That and the Rare Replay game, because all the Rare games and stuff like that. I was like, man, I should really pick up a copy of those two and just get it cheap. And I look and I see the cheapest Xbox is like $150. I'm like, hell no, it ain't worth it. For that, I'd get a Wii U with a bunch of games. At least that's something different and stand out. You know what I mean?
No, but they got them little. When we get off this, I'm gonna message you my little spot because I don't even want to put it out there. But they got awesome. They got such awesome stuff. You might have heard of them, but yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
I know there's a spot that we used to all go. I don't even know if it's there anymore. But back when PlayStation 1 came out, you had to go to this spot to get your PlayStation modded on Canal Street. It was just off Canal Street. And
it's a lot of crazy, cool places down there.
Hell yeah. But this one was like in the middle of the street in a mall. You go downstairs and it had all the Japanese games, all the you could get your mod chip there and get all the Burn games. And like I can remember me and my cousin Key, we went and like we would spend afternoons all day just hanging out, looking at the games and checking out all the different wrestling games and Japanese stuff, and like it was just awesome. You know what I mean? And like that was the spot, man. There isn't any spots like that anymore. Like everything's all GameStop or Target, Walmart. There's not too many mom and pop spots anymore.
And for real, it's very scarce. And then GameStop, I don't even know what's gonna happen with them.
Wow.
Everything is online, and like you said, Target and Best Buy.
Mm-hmm.
You can enjoy remastered Xbox 360 and Xbox One games with auto HDR now on the Xbox X. Thanks to a clever form of machine learning, the Xbox Series X can, in essence, automatically remaster those games supported by backwards compatibility, upgrading their resolutions with high dynamic range without any extra work from developers, which is pretty cool too.
Whatever, Bill Gates. You keep that Microsoft love to the side because PlayStation has the PlayStation Now, and it's you can play PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, some PSP, and PlayStation 2. And while it's not every game, it's got some stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They never came out with a good handheld Xbox system, which I don't know why the fuck. I wish I yearned for that. But I have to say, PSP was awesome. I used to own one.
I remember seeing a long time ago. I don't remember who had it, but they had made a homemade portable Xbox, original Xbox. And they were talking about doing a portable Xbox 360. And the only problem was it was like the size of like the Wii U controller with the screen. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh
no! Yeah, it was really big, and it wasn't portable because the batteries would never last. Back then, the batteries weren't good enough. I don't even think now the batteries will be good enough to charge those deals up. But like I remember seeing that, and I was like, man, that looks awesome. But now they have portable PlayStation 2s, and they're still expensive as hell, but it looks awesome. And the PlayStation 2 has so many good games, so I would love to see either one of them just come down to maybe a 150, 100 price, and not run off SD. Because listen, I was always a collector, and at one point I had something like 6,000 video games, physical media in my systems, and I had something like 30 video game systems all at once, handheld and console, and yeah, it was nuts, man. I just, and then stupidly, I was like, oh, I need some money, and I sold a lot of it, and I was just like, oh, why'd I do that? That was the dumbest nonsense I ever did. Like, the worst part was I had like Sega Saturn with like Panzer Dragoon Saga, and Resident Evil, and like really expensive, rare Saturn games. And I was like, why'd I sell that, stupid idiot? You know what I mean? Like, I had a whole 32X set, Sega CD, Sega Genesis, Game Gear, Game Boy Advance. I had everything, and I sold it. I only kept my Dreamcast, and what else? I kept like my newer stuff, my PlayStation 2 and stuff, but like I regret it to this day selling all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Especially now that retro is back in.
That's why I spend my free time when I can trying to get old stuff back. Yeah. I still have my 360 with like, I don't know, like 60 games or more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I like, because when you mod, you can add the stuff, and even if you don't have the games, yeah, I'd rather have the physical games, but like I don't know why, but the last like 2 years, I've been on a Modern Warfare 2 kick, and not even to play online, because online was awesome. I think out of all the Call of Duty games, that was the best one I was, I played my best on that one, you know what I mean? But like, the story mode, I love that game story mode, especially when you go through the airport, you light up everybody, I always try to kill the little kids. Terrible.
Damn kids. Nobody needs them. Nobody's gonna miss them. They were too young. They couldn't be that attached to them. They were kids. But like I don't know. Having it modded though, and then where you can add the extra mods to it, like Grand Theft Auto 5. I love seeing the stuff like the Back to the Future mod and stuff like that. That's sometimes like when I see people on their Xbox that they could do some of the stuff like that. That's the one thing I will say that like I'm like, oh man, I wish PlayStation could do that. And you can with certain games, but not all of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
do you know what the most game of all time is?
What happened?
Do you know what the most sold game of all time is? I'll give you the top 3. The first is Tetris. The second is Minecraft. And the third is GTA, which happens to be my favorite franchise.
Well, but now it's approaching its 5th generation on the system, so...
And number 6 on that list is Super Mario Bros.
Wow, 6? That's kind of low. But I guess...
It's the times. This is a current most sold game of all time, so...
Well, but I was just saying, I guess because it was included with the system for a long time with the original Nintendo, that, unless they count the sale of the system, as, a hit for Mario. But I'm going to go, right, and say number 4. I'm trying to think. Because you said number 1 was... GTA. Number 2 is Minecraft. I'm gonna go. No, I was gonna say Fortnite, but that would be too high. I don't know. Read the top 5.
I was only missing one above Super Mario. Let me double check that, but. I know it wasn't Fortnite, actually.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because I thought it would be at the top 5.
My daughter loves Fortnite. Ugh, it's annoying.
I feel like it's good. It's popular with the kids. Yeah. I don't really know anything about it. I don't know much. I mean, I've been told, but I tried to get into it one day, and I was just, I don't know. I guess it wasn't that deep. But
my daughter's been trying to get me into that and Among Us. And
Among Us is good.
Yeah, I try, but like, I'd rather just shoot shit. Just keep it moving.
I feel you on that too.
Yeah, Contra. I mean, I grew up with Contra. Like you growing up with Contra, you don't have time to stop and explore or try to be a spy or anything like that. You're trying to just shoot everything that moves and keep it moving to the right.
Xbox has more storage than PS5 too. The 1 terabyte versus 825 gigs. A faster CPU, more powerful graphics and processing unit. Xbox doesn't win by sales, but Microsoft is worth 290 million, while Sony's only worth 60 million. They aren't stressing it as much, especially with game sales and other merch.
Well, I mean, you got to also take into account every PC has a version of Windows on it, and that every single time, even if it's 4 out of every 5 was paid for, you're still having billions of people with Windows on it. So you got to make some money there. You forgot to add the part where never once in the entire existence of the Xbox franchise has any system made a profit. And the reason for that is because they always put so much money into the machine, but then sell it at a way discount price to try to beat the competitor when the competitor always outsells them.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, listen, I don't know.
Actually, I found it.
What happened?
I found it.
Okay.
I found the list.
Okay.
And the top 4 is actually the other one with. This is the best-selling games of 2020. Number 1 is Minecraft. Mm-hmm. Minecraft, that's just been popular for a long time.
Yeah.
You ever played it?
People like to build.
Yeah.
It's video game Legos.
I've never played it.
Think about it. When we were kids, we all played with Legos, and now instead of playing with Legos, they play with video game Legos.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is GTA 5. All right. Woohoo! Number 3 is Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
Classic, the EA version. And number 4 is Wii Sports.
Isn't that crazy? Wii Sports.
Yeah.
Like, when you really think about it, right? If you compared the Wii's numbers to PlayStation 5 and Xbox, whatever the fuck it's called now, Wii would have destroyed all of them.
Right.
Wii was impossible to get when it came out.
It's a classic game that you can never get tired of, like Pac-Man. Yeah. I still download retro games.
Oh, of course. I mean, I have, let me just count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 arcade cabinets. And on the one, the At Games Legends Ultimate, I have Sega Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, plus a whole bunch of, I think it's like 2,000 arcade games. It's just under 2,000 arcade games. And like the games like Galaga and Galaxian and, Miss Pac-Man and just all those games from the 80s and 90s when we were kids. They get mad love all the time. And I'm always showing my daughter. Me and my daughter beat, what was it? We beat, I want to say it was one of the Ninja Turtle games the other day together. And then we beat this other game called Night Slasher, which, like, I remember seeing it, but I didn't play it too much. But it's like a beat 'em up. And we beat that. And, like, to me, that's like the cool shit because, I know for a fact that my dad didn't play fucking video games with me, let alone beat them with me. You know what I mean? So
that is beautiful. I love it. I wish I had that with my dad.
It's something that I know my daughter loves. She gets it from me, and when I'm with her, I want to make sure that she sees that where she's getting it from. And I don't want her to be a wrestler. I know she likes wrestling. She loves girls wrestling, but I don't want her to be a wrestler. But if she could be, playing video games for fun, or, because she's very creative. She's a great artist. Even if she designs a video game, does the artwork, or anything like that, you know what I mean? I wanted to know, like, she got it from me, and, it's something that is, like, my gift to her, you know what I mean? I gave her life, but I also gave her this shit, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Actually, I see a lot more ads today for video game graphicing and testers than I ever did back then. Yeah. Like, I wish I knew about it before.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I have my horror story that I tell on a lot of podcasts that I do. So I'm going to share it with you because we're talking about video games, and it's quite fitting. Back when I was like 8 or 9, I was already a Sega. My first Sega system was a Sega Master System. I wanted a Nintendo like everybody else because Nintendo Entertainment, everybody had it. Everybody was playing Mario, everybody was playing Duck Hunt. I wanted one. But my mom couldn't afford it, so she got me a Sega Master System, right? And she had tried to show me the pros. She was like, look, you got cartridges, you got cards, it looks cool. And I was like, yeah, but don't have Mario, don't have, Contra. I said, I'm sorry, but this is what I can get you. All right, whatever. So I start playing it, and I loved the system. I became, hooked on Sega, and it was cool that I started to appreciate that I had shit that, nobody else really had. Everybody was on Nintendo. Nobody knew about Sega. So by the time the Genesis came out, my mom, I was just telling this weekend, my mom had this hookup. She worked downtown Manhattan, but she was like a couple blocks away from Canal Street. And she had a hookup. Sega Genesis came out in August of 89. My birthday's in May. She got it for me in April of 89 with like 5 games. You know what I mean? Like, she had a massive hookup. And, part of the reason why I am the way I am, all weird and whatever, and cool, whatever, it's because of my mom. Massive reason. My mom definitely always tried to show me, like, don't be like the rest of people.
You're a gamer. You're a gamer.
Yeah, but she was a gamer too. She just wasn't on the level that I was because there wasn't as much gaming stuff back then, right? So I'm playing Sega because of my mom, and I love Sega. I'm all about it. So I start thinking of games, and I start, writing down ideas. Like I said, I was 8, 9, 10. I wasn't that old. But like, I had a lot of creative ideas. So I remember seeing the Sega home address, like their office. And I was like, you know what? Let me just write them a letter with a video game idea and see what's up. So I came up with this idea. I wrote it out. And like, in my mind, I always say I wrote it out in crayon, but I know I didn't. I wrote it out in pencil. And like, I tried to make it as neat as I could, but I'm a lefty, so it's not always that neat, right? And I sent it in. Didn't even think about it, right? So like maybe 2 months later, I get a letter from Sega, and my mom's like, "Oh, you got mail today, video game mail." I was like, "Oh, all right, let's see what it is." So I opened up the envelope, and Sega wanted to buy my idea. They were gonna, and I always, again, I don't remember the specifics. I just remember like they offered, it was like a few $100,000 for the idea, right? And I always say, oh, it was $500,000, but I don't. To be honest, it might have been like 200,000. You know what I'm saying? And And so like, it was in March or April. So my mom was like, "This is what we're gonna do. You're gonna finish school, and then we'll answer them. And summertime, if you need a couple of months to go do whatever, we'll go do whatever. And we'll accept their offer." All right, cool. So I go to school, finish school. June comes, and I'm looking for the letter. I'm like, "Mom, where's the letter?" She's like, "I don't know. I left it over by the TV." "Oh, I don't see it." So I'm looking. Now I'm going crazy looking for it because it's like an hour and I don't find it, right?
Oh, man.
So then my mom, "Oh, you know what? I think I accidentally threw it out."
Oh, shit.
So I was pissed, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh my God. But back then, You didn't have to go to school to be a game, a game designer or anything like that. I mean, you had to know your shit. Don't get me wrong. Like, I have no delusions of grandeur that they were going to hire me and I was going to be working in front of a computer like with Miyamoto or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, they were paying me for the idea of the game, and like, now you couldn't do that because everybody goes to school. They all do specific for video games. You know what I mean? And like, even I've taken a class. I have a class under my belt for video game design, just on basic shit though, nothing like crazy. You know what I mean? And I just, with my daughter, I try to tell her, I'm like, listen, if you like this, you got to know now that you have to get started early, and that's a lot of kids. You know what I mean? Like, today's market is so competitive. It's like, I had it good. I wish I could have taken advantage of that, because if I would have taken advantage of that, I would know. You've been playing some Mack games.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you think about, what if?
Well, like I said, who knows? If I would have gone through it, you'd be probably playing Steve Mack games now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But at the same time, everything happens for a reason. Like, and it's weird. I feel like if you look at all the stuff that happened, obviously it led me towards a life in wrestling. And if it wouldn't have been wrestling, it would have been entertainment in some form. But, the video game love would have always been there. And, who knows? But, trust me, every once in a while when my mom gets me upset, I'm like, yeah, take a contract, lady. Take a contract.
Oh, man. So, in closing here, I just want to say that while I love good debates, true to heart, I'm a real gamer and we support all things gaming. So I enjoy playing all game consoles. The Xbox brand just has owned my heart since its birth.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna take
crap talk.
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah. All my crap talk just comes from amusement. I really don't hate any system. The PlayStation is a immaculate, awesome system, and you can never really downplay it.
Now, you know what? Fuck the Atari Jaguar, because that system was utter bullshit. Fuck you, Atari Jaguar. I'm gonna hate on the system.
You're occasional bad apples. Yeah.
I'm just saying, fuck that system.
Some people say that about the GameCube, and honestly, I don't hate the
GameCube is awesome. What are you talking about?
That's what I think. I have a lot of friends who do not. They have a GameCube. I hate you thing going on. I don't know why.
They're not cultured. They're uncultured swine if they hate on the GameCube. The GameCube was awesome. Every facet of industry has their good and their bad, and video games are no different. For every fucking PlayStation 2, there's a ton of nuance and CDIs and shit like that. That's just straight up garbage. But the thing is, they all try to cater to the same thing, the one thing. Our love for video games. We all love video games, the ones that are in it, and there are some that they're just casual. They just want to play on their cell phone. Let's just play some solitaire. All right, you do that. And then there's the dudes that have the setup with the chair bent back and it's 5 screens above them, and they're in the zone when they play their game. It's all different level of love, and trust me. If I could, I would definitely have one of those setups with the racing where it has the shocks and the everything moving around, so that when you're driving, it feels like you're really hitting the bumps and shit like that. That's my end goal. You know what I mean? For my love of everything, that's my end goal.
My ultimate gaming room would be the very fucking system ever, and the most.
Trust me, I feel you up.
Made awesome gamer chair with the lighting and the just. I think we will have history.
I definitely feel that. I mean, you got to be in your zone, relaxed and comfortable, and maybe some music playing while you gaming. You know what I mean? Some people are different. But I do enjoy playing video games with some music on and very low lights and just, almost like being a creep with it. You know what I mean?
I go to another place. Like, I like to, since I first started Facebook in 2011, I would always write my status when I'm being in Xbox on World Off. Because that's how it is for me.
Yeah. I mean, it is an escape. It is an escape from all the shit that we struggle throughout the world, throughout the day. And that's why some of these people get lost in it when, you hear about kids that in like China or Malaysia that play for 20 hours and die after because they get so lost in it, and, I guess that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, but for us, that we work and we have lives, we have our families, when you get that hour or two of just chilling, you in another world, whether it's Halo or Grand Theft Auto or Street Fighter or whatever it is, everyone should have that escape, and that's what makes gaming so great. You don't have to be in the same world. You could just do whatever you want to do, and whether it's PlayStation or Xbox, if we're fortunate enough, because, you got to always remember, there's people that aren't even fortunate enough to have a roof over their heads, but we're fortunate enough to have a roof and a video game system and electricity to come in through that bitch. And, we have to be grateful for what we have, because the world is tough and sometimes, they don't give you a helmet for that bitch. Sorry to get some deep right there in the video game.
No, that's great. It's awesome. It's reality. I love it.
It really is.
Monsta Mack, thank you. I want to really thank you for being here. I would love for you to join me again on some other topics.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, next time I think we should definitely do Sega versus Nintendo. I got Sega, of course. You know what I mean? And if you really, if you want, you could always throw somebody to get at me if you're not down with Nintendo, and you got someone who is, you can get them to throw down. I'll fight hard for my Sega.
You're talking to the original Peach.
That's what's up.
I got this. But yeah, thanks again, and thank you for everyone tuning in. You already know, tomorrow will be on YouTube. Monsta Mack, you want to plug in your social media?
I only have Twitter, and even then, I'm not really that great with it. But it is.
Right, so definitely follow him here for future podcasts.
Yeah, I think having this platform makes it a lot easier for me because I'm always talking about, I should really start doing a podcast. And then I'm like, nobody will listen.
I'll listen and be there if you want me to speak.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll definitely have you on if I start anything. We'll talk about all the different facets of our lives and how interesting they are to us, but to no one else.
Good stuff.
But yeah, real quick, it's at Steve Mack DHS on Twitter. Hit me up, follow me, and I always answer if I see it. And if you're not a creep, because I had someone the other day hit me up, FaceTime me, and I'm like, I don't know you. No, why not? Why you no FaceTime me? I gotta go.
That's good.
The guys get creeps too up on Insta.
Wow, that's good to know. That's crazy.
We just don't get dicks thrown at us.
So most of you, some of you.
Yeah. Don't trust me. If people want to start sending me pictures of fun things, you could send it to me. But if it's like if it's diseased or beat up looking, I'm not gonna look. So.
Oh no! All right, guys.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you
for having me on.
May the force be with you.
Same, and always with you.